When all things considered, at the end of the day, I would say check out Halloween 2 with an open mind. I mean, that's the best I can do. Because if you're gonna hate it, then that's fine. That's your own opinion. Just like it's your opinion that you like the film. I know some YouTubers that like the film, and I know some YouTubers that absolutely despise the film.
Yeah.
So what it really boils down to is what is your taste.
And I think what it really comes down to is, you know, what's your taste, and also, you know, I know that personally you like the first film better, and I totally respect that, and I like both films personally, and I think everybody should just respect everyone's opinion. I mean, the fact that we all like this horror character is really what matters, right?
Yeah, and but I did say that I do think, you know, Michael's kills in Halloween 2, being as brutal as they are, I mean, I think Rob Zombie was maybe trying to make them a little bit disturbing here and there. But for fans of the series, you know, everything like that,
yeah,
no matter what Michael does, we're not going to find it disturbing. There's no way. You know, and so, yeah.
Yeah, and what I would, you know, what I would like to say is, I'm a big fan of the original, and I like the remake, and I kind of liked how you re-envisioned it in part 2, and I respect the fact that you have a totally different opinion, because everybody's gonna have a totally different opinion about this.
Well, in my eyes, I much prefer the original Halloween 2 with Jamie Lee Curtis, because that takes place immediately after. It had great atmosphere. It had, you know, Donald Pleasance in it, and the whole reveal of Michael being Laurie's brother was probably a little bit shocking at the time.
Yeah, and I would just like everyone that's watching this to know that I am a big fan of the original, and I'm a big fan of the remake. And even though maybe I didn't like part 2 of the original series, that doesn't mean that I didn't like part 4, you know, and so on, and other parts of the series.
Well, you gotta somewhat admit Halloween 2 is much more better than Halloween Season of the Witch.
Well, absolutely. The third, yes, absolutely.
The third one is like, I think, in my eyes, the third one's probably like the worst Halloween.
Because it has nothing to do with Halloween, and even, you know, the producer of that film admits that it's not a good movie.
Yeah, I mean, well, some people may say that you have to watch it not thinking it's going to be Halloween, but you just watch it for its own film. I did watch it as its own movie with that in my head, but that song literally drives me nuts.
And it really has nothing to do with the series. It's really a film on its own. Even if someone actually does like the movie, I respect that, but it's really not a Halloween movie.
I mean, it is somewhat of a good horror film. It's just that I think the movie Halloween 3, the original Halloween 3, could have done without that annoying song. That is my main complaint about it. That song is so annoying.
Yeah. I totally agree. But I think that's what's really cool about Rob Zombie, is that he's a fan of you know, of the Halloween series, and, you know, even though that you may have not liked Halloween 2 as much, you can still admit that his efforts were seen, and he did a very good job. Starting at the first movie that you actually liked.
Yeah, he did do a good job with the first film, but however, like I said, he seemed to, with his unrated version, or as he considered his preferred version, he seemed to basically want to do in the same type of league almost as like the Devil's Reject. And if he's trying to do that, you know, to me, for a film, you know, like Halloween, I wish, you know, he could separate, you know, his type of horror films, because you can't end every horror film the same way.
Yeah.
I mean, Halloween 1 had a crazy ending. Devil's Reject, well, not Devil's Rejects, House of a Thousand Corpses had a crazy ending. Devil's Reject, depressing ending. Halloween 2, unrated cut, depressing ending. And
well, I would definitely say that Devil's Rejects is probably one of the best endings I've ever seen.
Oh, yeah.
In any horror film.
Devil's Reject had an amazing ending. But that ending worked where with Halloween 2, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, both endings have so much problems with them. I mean, I would consider the theatrical cut better just for the fact that, you know, Laurie basically killed Michael, and I like that. I like how she went ape shit crazy on him.
But for me, I actually like the unrated cut because I like the connection between his mother, because the whole film was about his mother, basically. And I like that it was the song from the strip club, and it was also the song, you know, when Michael is at home on Halloween. I saw that connection. But
well, the main thing, I think probably if there's another thing that really bugs me is, remember in the first Halloween where like when Michael basically got Laurie and he took off his mask and basically dropped the knife, you know, and everything like that. You know, to me, it was almost like him almost trying to reach out to her, in you know, in some essence. I mean, people may not agree with me with that, but however, with this film, it just felt like Rob, you know, basically was trying to make it too much his own and not basically respecting Halloween, the other Halloween movies, and some. I mean, it's just like, to me, basically an okay film. It's not a great film. I just think that they should have stopped with Halloween 1, in essence. But you know, so.
Well, I respect your opinion, even though I thought both films were phenomenal.